When you learn how to read the Bible like this, it will open up a world of understanding in Revelation. Matthew 9:13, Jesus says, "I desire mercy and not sacrifice, for I came not to call the righteous, but sinners." Some questions I might have would be, hey, why is Jesus calling the sinners and not the righteous? What does it mean for someone to be righteous? Is this self-righteous? Is this actually having the righteousness necessary to enter the kingdom? And what does mercy look like in the context of this Old Testament quotation? So this quotation is from the Old Testament. We should look at that chapter and ask contextually, what is the definition of mercy? And what is the definition of sacrifice? And why does God not desire sacrifice? Why are mercy and sacrifice put at odds with each other? I thought in Scripture they go together. Either way, it relates to Jesus calling not the righteous but the sinners. So now we have the disciples of John. They come to Jesus and they say, "Why do we and the Pharisees fast, but your disciples don't fast?" And Jesus said to them, "Can the wedding guests mourn as long as the bridegroom is with them?" Pause. When in the world did we start talking about a wedding with the guests and the bridegroom? How does this connect to the idea of fasting, or rather the disciples not fasting? I think Jesus will explain, but something to consider is, why does Jesus use the wedding analogy rather than a different one? And also, where else in Matthew's gospel do I see, a wedding used metaphorically or in an analogous kind of way? And also the disciples coming to Jesus, asking him about what they and the Pharisees do. I wonder why they felt the need to do that, and how it relates to the previous section about Jesus not calling the righteous but the sinners. So he goes on, "The days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast." Okay, so it seems as though it's not the right time, but why again is Jesus using a wedding to explain why the disciples don't fast? So a bunch of questions. Why are they referred to as wedding guests? What does it mean to mourn? When does the bridegroom get taken away? For what reason? The days will come when the bridegroom is taken. Again, why? Why is he being taken? And then why is fasting the response to the bridegroom being taken? Who's the bridegroom in this mini parable? I'd say it's Jesus. Who are the wedding guests? It seems as though these are the disciples, right? So these are questions we should probably ask. And then he says, "No one puts a piece of unshrunk cloth on an old garment, for the patch tears away from the garment and a worse tear is made." How does this uh, image right here clarify or expound upon the previous one about the wedding and fasting? We'll tackle that in the next video.